Because
okay, I will try to see if I will record to the machine, and then at the end we'll kind of like share the link, just so for people where they know if fit participate. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, again, I'll be very sorry. I get people for house, so I'll just briefly say my salute, then I'll go mute back.
Now, who is not sorry? No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I jumped about that.
I know you don't read the name table console. I confuse you. I just say okay.
Okay. No, that's strong head. When I see the first way they look like, so a very calm, good boy. Then I remember the strong head one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you can't believe it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Georgie, I'll come this year. I will see you.
Are they Maryland?
Yeah, not sure fact. When I did that, I go make sure I see you.
No, it'll be my pleasure.
All right.
I know come here again.
All right.
Yes. Well, maybe somebody will be kind enough maybe to say a word, maybe a word of prayers. I mean something towards John Michael's departure. Helena, for call you, but I don't say you say your voice not there too fine because they say you be mommy pastors. So,
now,
well,
okay. Make us say what a prayer now. We'll just pray.
Okay.
All right, we'll pray. Father, we thank you, oh God. You have been so good to us. Lord, we have come a very, very long way. Oh God, almost 40 years, Lord, that we have been together. You have kept us alive in our various spaces. And it pleases you that, oh God, this day we can come together and see our faces one more time. We appreciate you for all that you have done for us. Even in our weaknesses, you have been so good. We thank you. We appreciate you. Lord, oh God, we just want to remember those that have gone ahead. We pray, oh Father, that their soul will rest in perfect peace, especially our brother who just went ahead a few days ago. Lord, oh God, we lift up his family into your hands, and we pray that at this moment you will console them. In these trying times, oh God, you will strengthen them. Lord, it takes only you to give them that peace that they need. Father, we just pray for them, and we pray for the rest of us, the rest of the class members and our families, oh God, those with grandchildren. We pray for everyone that, Father, you continue to just keep us and prosper us in all our endeavors. And we thank you, oh God, even for those in the United States, as you grant us grace to meet physically one day and just enjoy the union. We thank you because you're such a good God. Let your name be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, well, no, we plan for talk about a few things, and I think Food affect you. Don't join with you. Talk small thing. I'm hear your voice too before.
The man is right.
I know see you always there on the road. So
yeah, I did road. I go Canada. So I did Michigan now.
Wow.
So we'll hear some small jackery for your side. Then we'll continue.
Just go ahead. I will come in.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right. No, well, we just say we'll talk about a few things and today, and then top of that, anything will come on somebody mind. I mean, just inject or we'll discuss and then we'll kind of be a little brief since I think that already 6 o'clock now, so we'll just get 1 hour. The most important thing, the most exciting thing coming up now, this August encounter with the program 9 to 11 of August, you know, for Farmington, Michigan. So I think we'll discuss that first, since that's the biggest stone for the meeting agenda. They say when you depack things, you put the big one then first for down, then the small one then for up. Otherwise, you will end up doing a very bad packing job. So, Rose, over to you. In the meantime, if anything come on for person in mind, may add them now. We'll just add them for the agenda.
Thank you so much. It's quite exciting to see everybody. I think we've never really been this many on the forum, which is so great. So thank you for actually reminding us and calling and all of that. I just want to go back to our minutes. I know Emma had put some points up on our forum about some things that we could be thinking about while we plan for the meeting event. Let me see here. I'm trying to go back to the minutes. I think he was trying to talk about some ideas about things that we could do while we have the meeting. Talking about some presentations that could empower us as a group, because we want to be able to have fun and at the same time empower ourselves from our areas of specialty, or even some ideas that can help us to become better. I don't know if I'm trying to look back on the minute notes. I don't see it.
You try to recall like the themes on which people if you talk.
Right.
Okay.
Anyhow, but I think it's for us to decide what we want to do. If we come on the 9th, and we have to know who are those who are coming so that we can plan accordingly. If we want to make like a tour for some maybe remarkable areas in the city of Detroit or in Michigan, we could plan that. So I could get those information, and if we need to hire a tour bus, things like that. So it will first of all be very important for us to know how many of us are coming. Some of us want to come with family and our kids, to just make it like a family vacation. All that will be very, very nice. We have like the Henry Ford Museum that people come from all over the United States. Different schools come to make a tour. That can actually take a whole day, because I think the last part is at the Ford Auto Company, that you see how they produce like the F-150 trucks. So it's all part of that package. Then we have like a museum where you see all these presidential cars, different presidents, their cars they used, Henry Ford's house, the first plane, all those kind of things. So it also depends how we want to spend our day. That way I could put those things together. And then like the cost of the package, then we can all have, if you want to have like a social evening, that will need like a DJ, all those kind of things. So we have to decide what we want. Because this is our first. So I think I will just let the floor be open for us to make.
Okay. Well, generally I know say everybody will come, and I know some will come with their spouses, some with their kids. I know Helen is driving with 3 of her sons. Maybe so, Helen.
Fingers crossed.
Eh?
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Mike,
yeah.
bringing your son on, I thought it's better we first make the first meeting, our first.
No, we can, it's just something I'm throwing in. Don't worry about the others. We'll straighten everything else.
Fun will be with family, but just us. It will take away part of our fun if I will bring my family. I don't know. Because there are things I will say to you guys I will not say in front of my family. It's
What do you
our
want to say?
childhood thing, you know.
What do you want to say?
We try to rekindle our childhood stuff. Some of the things I will say to you guys I will not say in front of my family. So it takes out some of the fun.
We'll get babysitting room. No worry about that one.
Thing is that
What about spouses? Spouses, it will not work. Even with spouses, the first one we should not do it with spouses.
No, time of day we will tell them, say, hey, when I go sit down on our own side, we'll do our own side. Now, sometimes
all of that. I believe we will have our own working session.
Yes.
Exclusively for us. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just do the planning generally first, and then we'll enter into
those nitty-gritties.
The small bits and pieces.
Some of you are open a whole chapter we believe
in Madame, they look the other side, so I don't even say good morning for Rose. Good morning for Helen.
Yeah.
They look at some kind of smile, no be normal. So let's just leave it open. Let it be a seclusive club for now. Next year we can open it up, or the next one.
Okay, now still ideas now. Okay.
I said,
yeah, just we kind of like for now, since we'll try for make the reservations. I think we'll be talking about a few options of hotels and things like that. So if you get for a reserve, if we know like the numbers, say at least if we know say we'll get like 10 people at least. I know we get a group of 16, but if we have like 10 where they go, reserve at least, it will give us the possibility for not only get that a good group rate, but also for get a free meeting room. Not be so Rose.
Yes.
Yeah, and those kind of things. So I hope say there's everyone here. I know will be 10 of us be connected now. So only 6 people did not be connected. Anybody there where plan to be, so at least we can know that if all of us here we're going to be there, then we already know that that's the minimum. Then we will give you a go ahead on that.
They say now when for August when?
August 9 to 11.
Because so first to 3rd September I go to Atlanta again for University Forum too.
No, that Atlanta, we talk about Farmington, Michigan. Not for Michigan.
Not for Michigan, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
9 to 11 August.
Okay.
Any person where they were the plan to be there, among the 10 of us who would they here present. Okay, so Rose, you already have a head count.
Well,
Yeah.
put question mark on you first, so I will have to verify some things.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Helen, we would already verify all things then. No worry.
Helen not started.
Yeah. No worry about Helen. We don't verify all things. So, yeah, so at least we get that go ahead of we get that 10, that go ahead of 10.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that number, what could be next?
So with that number, I will go ahead and make the hotel reservation. And then I will make the reservation, and I'm gonna get a code. I'll get a code, a discount code that I can send to everybody.
Okay.
The host will also sleep in the hotel.
Airbnb.
No worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Be fine.
No, I think they turn and close the whole.
No plan too much. Yeah. So okay, that's so at least that's one thing. Yes, and I know for something like I know you talked about music and all of that. Chio Rafael is my buddy. He and I we can always handle music. Hey, Chio, no be so.
Yeah, I will transport the music. I'll come with music.
Okay. And yeah, so we've done it before, so I know what I talk. We'll get the best DJ in town. Yes, Raf get a very good set and all of everything. Yes.
So Rose, how weather for that August? Because Detroit, their own winter is different from our own here. No. We have to plan that too.
August now full summer now, full time summer.
Detroit and Canada, they're different from me and you, Mike. So what summer me and you?
I know.
No, at least not in August. For that one, we can attest to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. On the contrary, those places that they hot some kind way. So for like that, I mean, go Chicago sometime for summer. It was past Atlanta for heat. You don't go believe. Yes. So yeah, for that side, for the side for then in terms of maybe food catering or whatever, any ideas?
Yeah, for catering, we have catering service that I can organize. In that case, the main thing is that we need to come up with a budget. And then so that we know, and all that also depends on, let me say now we are working at least 10 people. And, but we are all arriving on a 9th is, let me see the time.
So is it a Cameroon caterer or Iboko caterer?
Hey, who's some about people then they will get for program Nantare and hey.
Yes, absolutely.
Obese. Concha.
Man, no can mess the air for there. You take about beans and concha.
No, but you asked about people. Now beans, their specialty.
I know.
So we at 9th, August 9th is what day of the week is?
9 na Friday, no so.
No, actually Friday is 11th. Friday is 11th.
Wait till we be the date span again. It be August what to what? You cannot say.
Maybe it's 11 to 13 because let me see. Because
okay. I think that maybe like 11 to 13, and I probably didn't make a mistake.
11 to 13 because 11th is a Friday.
Okay. So 11 to 13, we'll make that rectification,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that so welcoming is on Friday evening, and then I think our main event is on Saturday. That Friday evening and Saturday because people will be returning on Sunday.
Right.
And then breakfast is already incorporated in the hotel.
Okay, so you're doing a Holiday Inn Express.
Right.
Okay.
So the main meals that we will need will be lunch on Saturday and dinner. And if we decide to go on an excursion or something, so we know that we can have lunch out somewhere, but definitely Saturday dinner should be the main planning dinner. So I don't mind hosting you guys for Friday evening, taking care of that. Those are the privileges.
I said, I want clap phone them for 1 hand.
Put that phone down.
Well, thank you.
I just need
I
just need people to send their command on what they like, but I'll guarantee that you'll definitely have a meta food and something go well.
I miss Meta Biscuit though. You know Meta Biscuit?
Which one is Meta Biscuit?
Ako?
No, Banga.
You get down, man.
I think you should be bringing that one from the staff brought.
I'm telling I'm sure we can get it in Maryland here. I'm sure.
Yeah, hey, Maryland are full-time Cameroon now, so maybe
Yeah,
it will help.
I'm telling you, there's everything in Maryland.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so yeah, so depending on how it goes, we can have Friday, depending on people who are coming and all of that, will now depend on the location for the reception on Friday. So, so the main thing that was a budget will be Saturday event. So we need to come up with ideas on how we want Saturday to be. I know schools might have been having it with other school unions or other groups. So I think suggestions are welcome.
Well, for Saturday, I mean, pending other ideas, I think Unabron discussed a few things already because that particular meeting I not be attending, but I be see Unabron discuss something like people where they get like ideas where they want to talk or they want to make an expose. You know, they figure like a 15-minute expose. Of course, there are going to be questions and answers after that. You know, on I mean, things where if it help us advance, you know, in our lives on different topics. And I know some Moodle Martin Bisay will make one of the exposés. I mean, I think a few people that I see from that report, that meeting report, I think 2 or 3 people, they be already opt or something. And I mean, they discussed with Regina not long ago also, we get some incredible ideas. So I think it would be good if we talk about that. Regina.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, yes, step in now. I was not thinking that, I mean, how about you know, you talk about some of the, you know, you share some investment ideas that we can, that can be of benefit to the group on that day.
I will try.
So yeah, so you put us, you know, put together something like, I mean, like if worth of 15 minutes of talk, and then we'll have question and answers. Maybe prior to that, we might even have, there might be some information to share. That before we come, we already have a picture of what we're going to talk in terms of like collective investment and self-improvement or things like that. So yeah, so just those topics, anything that somebody knows that can add value, you know, to us, our families, or comrades back home and whatever, you know, anything of value. I think somebody was going to say they were going to talk about health, you know. So I think the session we will get on, it will be about that. And then I think also it will find maybe we talk about some things and the way we be a little worried about as it concerns the general group. Because I think we also represent a voice. We may not be the majority, but we represent a voice where we fit, you know, make some changes, because nobody can hide it. There are some things that are going on that we are not pleased about. But we just follow for the sake of harmony of the group. But I think if we take a strong stance, we can make a point. I'm not saying that we'll always win, but and that is not the objective anyway. The objective is to make everything better, but at least we'll be able to get our voice heard as a simplified group. So I think those kind of those little things also we fit bring them on that Saturday. You know, we get that that session. You know, we brainstorm. You know, and put some things together, so that when they meet at the end of the year, we already have something we have tabled long before the one that meeting take place.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, any other ideas of things we can share on that day?
What about things we can do on that day?
So one of the
Yeah,
things.
go ahead, Regina.
Yeah, I was trying to propose that on that day it will be a gala night. Can we make a cake and raise funds and start our own saving or something for our account within ourselves?
Yeah, to me it's a wonderful idea. I mean, but let everybody chip in on that.
They're good idea.
Can she elaborate?
That means
You want me to elaborate on that?
I think that is a good idea, and let me tell you why that is a brilliant idea. We do a lot of things, and sometimes when they are soliciting funds from you, it may not be the time when you are financially viable. But with such an amount, if based on a code of bylaws that we have ourselves here, or things that we agree upon, that something were to happen, we can dip our hands in that coffers, and at least a token of support to that individual amongst us here will be helpful. And so it doesn't come at a time when you are least opportune to act, right? So that is the way I see it. And that usually comes up not when every now and again people reach out to you, we are doing this, can you chip in? We are doing this, can you chip in? At some point it becomes repetitious and annoying, right? But at the moment when you know that, okay, at some point we've raised funds, you're asked to do something for our group here, instead of constantly asking you to do back at home, which is not a bad idea, but then at some point, just a token here, but coming from the coffers is helpful.
Great.
Okay, I want to chip into that. It's very, very important. Thank you, Mariji, and thank you, Manu, for supporting. The question that was coming in my mind is, this group, is our group registered as an NGO yet? Is it an NGO?
Not yet.
The answer is a quick no, not yet, because we have this will be our first physical encounter, and we don't have any bylaws so far. In fact, today we are going to discuss a few things that we could like to have. If we want to have a bylaw, we are just a chapter. We are zone 6. We just a chapter of the general, and it is up to us if we want to make it an association. Then we can do it and register it in any of the states here, and we can definitely come up with that. And we hope that by today we can have some guidelines. Guidelines being what? We just say, okay, on this domain we're going to do this. On this domain, this is what we're going to do. In such and such a case. Then from that, we can build. We can build bylaws, but then it has to be something that we all agree on, that we want to make it like an association, an alumni association here, you know. So that's what I can quickly answer to that question. Yeah, then.
Yeah, the reason I say is because I'm saying that because as an NGO, if we do register, I've seen other alumni around and they're doing great things, you know, and they do meet annually. I have a group of people that I see here, they meet annually and they do great things. I know that according to the United States, anything NGO you have to, anything that you have, they are supporting you with has to be here first. And even if you are doing something, yeah, you need to have some covers. I don't know. I need to find out, maybe ask a few questions to the people that are already having something going on to see how far it goes. The reason being, like Emmanuel just said, and register, if we have an account, it'll be much more easier for us to help, to support our brothers and sisters back home easily. Because if there's a need, maybe for $50, $100, or let me say 50,000, 100,000, and we have something in here, it will be much more easier for us to go into our account and pull it out and send it. Being that if it's an NGO, then we can record it and, you know, and report it.
No, that's very important.
And if we want to do things like we are raising funds, maybe we are looking back home at the school, we want to say maybe get some computers from here, we'll have, you know, we'll have a big backing for some, you know, electronics to support maybe an IT department in the school back home. We'll have all those cushion around. That's what I'm just thinking. So those are the things I'm just throwing. I know things are just popping in my mind, so don't mind me.
No. You are doing it in the right direction, because what we are basically doing.
Helen, that's good. You are doing it very well.
Yes, we are collecting.
I think we also discussed that. I think 2 days ago we discussed about this idea. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I think we discussed about this idea. Helen, I think the idea for me is great. I thought about that and we talk about that because home, this NGO go far to help. There are some of our brothers that are not doing something.
That's right.
We can look for a way and fit something for them to do through this NGO.
Yes.
Because we cannot take money, and if you continue to give somebody cash, would that even, if we give somebody fish all the time, without teaching that person how to fish?
No.
Soon you will not be able to provide the fish. So the best thing we can see that they engage doing something, so that we should, when we want to say, oh, we're doing this, everybody will come on board. People should not stay back because of one reason or the other. So I think the NGO will be good. That's a good idea.
Okay.
So let's keep going around the table and getting ideas, because so we go to, if somebody does not pick up from here, I'll call the name. Yeah, Nji, what are your thoughts?
I'm sure I'm in line with Emma and Helen.
Okay. All right, Estella. We know she's busy at work, but maybe she has a chance to throw in something.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm gonna. That's a nice idea. I like it very much. You remember, sometime we talk. I also brought something about finances, though it was not in this line. So I'm for it. It's great.
Okay, chill. Okay. Well, Chiu is not in his seat, so he must be doing 1 or 2 things. And I don't know if Sonny could chip in too. I know he has guests, but If he's following, maybe he could chip in for a minute or two. Yeah, Sonny? Yeah, Chiomu, hear from you now.
Yes, I did follow the conversation. Are they on board? The only downside where I know about NGOs, I say once will be fully established, for do that mass fund drives, the solicit funds and stuff. Sometimes it just depends what we do. We buy laws though, but many of those organizations, they not allow people for do mass fundraising. If we bypass that for no say so, at some point we go get an emergency where we want some money, then that's fine. Otherwise, once we get articles of engagement, it will simply mean say we trouble funds where the tax ourselves all the time for we be able to get enough money inside we coffers for do it what we do. The benefit, of course, not say the organization fee file for taxes, but we also need for the do tax return every year and all of that. So now the other things then that we'll get to look at if we want to go NGO route. I'm a small contribution that now.
Hey, Doc, but various kind NGO, and for I don't know the way why the year guy they talk. I know I have own NGO, but I know the NGO they so on they be tax free, so on they give a buy tax. So it depends on what you're doing.
No, even a tax free, you get to file the tax.
Okay.
You get to show documentation for everything we do financially.
Not true.
Even though you're not paying anything.
Okay.
I think one of the things that we will need to do, I say ideas that come, we need to get an expert, right? Because the ideas will be great. Right now, we will not harness the expertise for that particular domain. So as we throw out the ideas, we will then need to find out how we feel leverage all the ideas and we'll run potential work for we benefit.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, we just put all the ideas in for bucket. Of course, quite a few of them will get when we get into the technicalities. We'll knock off a few things because usually maybe we'll just normally start with an ordinary association where we will not get a lot of constraints, and being that chances that we will ever be more than 15 members is very slim, if at all we actually really get to that number. But for now, we'll just put all the ideas in the bucket. Then as it would go on, we'll trash them out and then retain which way it be necessary, essential, and doable. Yeah. So actually, those points, Sonny, they be very valid. They be very valid.
So again, we want to pay attention because I belong to another association where the mother branch there. So the question I say, as we want to try to form this one, how will we be part of the national branch? I know Hope say this, so our plan is to cut off from them, but we also want to make sure that as we are trying to form an association, it should be a subset of the national. Right?
Technically, if we get for establish anything here, I don't see how a US state will recognize the class association where it be registered in Cameroon. So maybe now a clause where we go put on inside the bylaws, go show say will be linked to the general, you know, but it will get to be a little technical.
Right.
Because I know say with my other alma mater, Kupexans, ex-students of PSS Kumba, we get those technical things because we get a national association, we get state associations, we get class associations, and then we get the international association when a global. Then it be very technical. Even we were there for Georgia, as we do bylaws, we find it difficult to operate as a sub-branch of the national, which itself is supposed to be a branch of the international.
Right.
Because a lot of technicalities that they come in. So usually
that was actually my concern, TTM, because
yes.
Once we become a functional entity, we by law and by United States rules and regulations are independent from any other association. So
yes.
By so doing, I think say we actually take a stance say we are not part of class of 80. So I just want to move figure all these things out
Can I say something?
Before we go come across like we are trying to go away from our brothers and sisters. That is where I'm coming from with this.
Can I say something, please?
Sure.
I understand. Okay, Chio, chip in then, Chio.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. We have the right, like a branch, to create something that will benefit us like the branch. Our village meeting, we are a branch and we have an NGO here that benefits only members of that branch. And there's nothing that will have conflict with the laws of the US if we want to create something, even though we are a branch that is going to disturb us. I don't see that. And the idea of an NGO is good, but I think we should first build, we should first come up with our bylaws that will bind us like a branch. Then we build a trust. Then after that, we can then move to the next step to create an NGO. And the NGO by not necessarily has anything to do with class of 80. It may have another name that we all agree, because it's going to benefit us in this branch, and so I don't see any conflict. But let's first build a trust and try to see how we can come up with bylaws that's going to guide us first. Then after that, after building that trust, then we then move to the next step to bring in other things that will benefit us, like this branch. That's my own idea.
All right. Can I say something?
Sure, Regina.
Okay. I think the idea of the NGO is good because it will benefit everybody. If we create an NGO here, then home, they create another one home. The one here will be working with the one home because we are not on the ground. We have something that they have to go somewhere and do it. this NGO here will assign the NGO home. They do what they are doing and they give us the report. We use that report and we'll still file our tax. It will still go. So creating an NGO will not discharge us from the national. It's a national thing. We are doing this for everybody to benefit. Even the national benefit from it, because the national will not come to use the NGO. Will say no. It's all our thing. If we want to work together, so here we'll get it here. Then home they create another one home. So that's how most NGOs they work. You cannot run here and go and run home. There's one that we did a certain things in a certain group at a certain time. We raise funds here. So the NGO that they are on the ground, we send the money to them, and they go around from one place to the other and give us all the report. So there will be nothing difficult there if we are willing to do it. Then I was even thinking that maybe Helen was talking about the fundraising, because there are some rules that you want to raise funds, you have to have that permit, like under that NGO, permit you to raise funds somewhere, bigger one.
Yeah.
So when we come to talk about that, yeah, we will elaborate on it. If somebody has something to say, as we finish from here, you have an idea, please, I'm asking, can we put it online so that everybody should go through it? And you have any other one you put then, from that ideas now, everybody will be able to chip in something and we'll summarize it, because we cannot stay on this point here now. So we can put all the ideas online and everybody will go from there. So that's my own suggestion.
Okay, well taken. Anyone who has not spoken yet on this, Rose, I don't know if Rose spoke on it.
Yeah, I think for me, these points are all very noble. I know Estella had brought up the idea of us having like a financial contribution in Jange to start with, which was still another idea to just put the group together. I'm thinking we could have a big long-term goal, and then we start little. And I remember when Estella brought that idea, one of the things that we came up with was that we are still trying to even know those who will be consistent members in the group, because we've hardly had a meeting this big. Even though we are all here, we don't know people that will be committed enough to be able to attend every meeting, even though we have it only quarterly. So if we have not been able to have that level of commitment, so it is more challenging to start getting into complexities. So I will, on my own part, I would suggest that we have this working, thinking about it, and our level of commitment will be even more solidified when we meet in person.
Right.
And then we can go from there. But in the meantime, since we have less than how many, maybe 15 minutes left for the meeting, I will suggest that we have that in mind and then talk about funding for our event. And then we can continue to chat about these ideas as we go.
Okay.
Because one of the things I believe is that if we don't have an NGO in place, we cannot raise any funds. Unless if that fund is being raised within ourselves. If we're raising within ourselves, how are we going to keep the money? You know, unless say we might incur some overhead costs that we may want to make up when we meet, just for the event. So since we have just 3 months to go, I believe we can be chiming on this, on the chart. It could be somebody's presentation, but in the meantime, I'm looking at what we have at hand. That I think this will be maybe second to the last meeting before the event. So we come up with a strategic plan on how are we going to effect this. So that's what I have to say.
Okay. Well, to me, that sounds like a plan. Yes, like you say, our next meeting is in July, because we have our meetings every quarter, so every 3 months. So July will be just the month before we actually meet. So between now and July, we could put ideas. At least we've gone through the broad spectrum of what we're talking about, so we can beef up those ideas on the chat group and put things together in that light. Okay, so if that sounds good, then Rose, still back to you on concerning this upcoming event. What do we need to do at this time to prepare for the event? I mean, and everyone, do we start? I know Estella had mentioned something before, which sounded, I think everybody thought it was reasonable, but we still have to come back to it. I mean, should we start making some kind of contribution, maybe for advanced reservations, maybe for advance, to take care of some advance or catering, maybe to have something in hand so that we don't have any kind of surprises when we get to Farmington. I mean, so did you think anything along those lines as well, which you could suggest?
Well, I think the only thing I will have to do is come up. As I say again, the main thing is numbers. Everything has to, like when you have to do catering, it has to do with the number. If we know that this is the number of people coming, then we can know how much people we can budget for. But all of that is not a big deal. That could be done within a month. So if people settle on what they want to do, and then they communicate it in the group, then that can be taken care of. And then with that, I can come up with an estimated budget for the menu. Because that's basically it. It's just the food and the drinks. That's all we are paying for. And it's just for Saturday. For Saturday lunch, it also depends on what we have decided that we want the program to be like. If we want us to be just a sit down working session, having meetings like a conference type thing, then it means that we will have to have lunch served there, which is easy. We can always order. There are a lot of places that we can order like sandwiches or something around there, you know. But so if I'm talking about budgeting for food, I'm thinking more of dinner on Saturday. Yeah. But, and if say we decide that we can all just go to a restaurant for lunch, to do the same, all that we just book. And people get anything they want from the menu. That's, I think that's a good plan, but then it depends how we want the program to run on that Saturday. You know.
Rose, there's an important component not included here. So I know the list is not yet exhaustive.
Manu, you're breaking up.
You're breaking up, bro.
I know that the list is not exhausted yet. One thing that Rose needs to consider is transportation. Do we go to enterprise rental car and take a van?
So that's how it now depends how we want the program to be. If say we want to go like a short excursion and do like sightseeing, like downtown, or visit the industries, things like that, then with that we can arrange for a bus. You know, we could arrange to hire like a van that will take everybody that we're all together. So we coming with a program really help that planning, which that's what we're trying to brainstorm here.
Yeah, the last time we included that in there, right? So I think just add that in there, because I think if we talk for 4 hours, that's already a long talking.
Yeah, and we can still do the four. Just it will go there just for sit down session. It will be very boring. It will not be memorable. And just my goodness.
Yeah.
We can still do sit down session online here.
That's the thing.
Let's add more outdoor activities. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
It should be a program of fun. Oh, that's sit down and talk.
Master, we sit where you know the talk. We can still draft a lot of stuff here online.
Okay.
Fun, at least visit some places, and I mean a lot of relaxation. That's what this is all about.
All right. So okay.
Master, I even see Michigan with it down the river. I need to
go see lake them.
That lake, the Great Lakes there. There are a lot of stuff up there that we can.
All right. So I will work on having that's easy. That could be done online. Whatever car company will carry that, we can do that online. I will check into that.
Okay.
So can we agree that to make things maybe easy, we could say, okay, let's between now and maybe a month from now, everybody maybe makes an advance contribution of I don't know, temporary contribution of maybe $50 or $100. I don't know, in advance. I don't know.
Yeah, Mike, but if I don't know if we could come up with some, like a budget, an estimated budget, that would make sense. So that
will depend on what we want to do. Like we say, if we know how many people are coming, for example, we know that this is the number of people. Now we're talking about a bus, so we know that okay, we have to rent a bus. So those are this is the cost of this is the cost of this is the cost of. So we now know that this is the budget. So we want to come up now to make up with the budget. Yeah. So maybe within the next month, everybody should be able to say if they are coming or not. And then if they are coming, and then we now I estimate the number of people that are coming, then I plan and now work on the menu and then the station, things like that.
Yeah, it's
the minute of the last meeting we had. We said by the end of March. Now we are moving, this is May coming. And so we said end of next month, and then for Rose to go up, start talking about logistics without anybody making a serious commitment. What I can say that Rose should at least engage with the hotel, and then let's make a commitment from there with an initial deposit through Rose before she goes out there to talk about a van instead of a small car.
Okay. 1 second. Let me do this real quick. We're always very particular about stopping on time when we take meetings, but there's always room for a courtesy, maximum 15 minutes. And it's almost just 7 minutes before we actually, our normal stoppage time. Is it okay? We can use our courtesy extension?
I will plead with the group that
okay. No, she was saying something. Do you mind if she finishes?
Mike, next time, try to use WhatsApp. It has unlimited time, more than 10, 15, 20 people.
Oh, no, it's not a matter of people. You probably did not get me right. It's not a matter of people or time. No, we could talk here for the next 100 hours. Nothing
what is the courtesy time on Zoom now?
No, because we program our meetings for 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Everybody has something that they want to do after.
Right.
Yeah, some of us are running into another meeting right after this. So that's why if we have to go anywhere beyond this, we have to first of all have everybody's mind prepared that we may go about 15 minutes more. And we always try to stick to time so that people also try to come on time when we start meetings on time, you know. Yeah, so that's the idea. So it's nothing more than that. It's not because we run out of space or anything. No. This is a professional account. We could have over 100 people in this meeting and stay in the meeting for the next 48 hours non-stop. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. So Sonny, you were saying something. You're about to say something.
John Teba.
Okay, he might be temporarily off. I don't see him connected right now. So yeah, so if anybody has anything to chip in on that note, if not, let me
say something.
Can I say something? Rose, what are you going to make at this? Are you going to add the places that we are going to move around and visit them, or how are you going to do the budget? Only on foot?
No think he likes me. He doesn't want the safe filing anymore.
Like let me say, look, like the tour with the Henry Ford Museum, there are tickets that one needs to buy. But I think that particular one will be off because it takes a whole day. So the other things that we might have to do with just something that we can buy tickets as we go. There are not many things that you kind of book way that open to the public. Yeah.
But going, let's say visiting the lake, to just for sightseeing for the lake, do you need to pay tickets to go there?
No.
Which means we could have the option of maybe renting our own van, like the 15-seater vans for the 10 of us, or for the 10 to 15 of us. We can rent our own 15-seater van, drive it ourselves, you know, and shuttle around. So maybe those details will work them out later.
That's exactly.
But I think what Ngwa Emmanuel said is very important about making some commitments as soon as possible, so as to give the go ahead for Rose to take care of one or two things.
That's true.
What I would suggest is that we should let Rose come up with an estimate, and then we see me next month again by follow up.
Next one is already it's already made.
Yes, we should let her come up with a budget, then put it online for us. Then we can brainstorm online. Then next month we schedule another meeting again and discuss and start and brainstorm on the budget and move from there. Because there's nothing we can do without an estimate budget.
Yeah, but it's just a little commitment. We're not making something big. I had the same thought like you, but making a little commitment while Rose goes ahead to check the stuff is better than just sitting and waiting for final figures. So I think the $50 initial commitment is better. You can do $50 or 100. I don't know. Let's do something to encourage Rose to start. We're already running out of time. Me, just 2 more.
That works. I think more people are leaning towards that because we have to get some kind of go ahead. So do we agree that
let's do it
within the next 30 days, if it is not too late, at least we should do a commitment of an initial commitment of $50 while we wait while we wait for the final budget?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So everybody has Rose contact. I think you do. Is it you do Zelle, Cash App, or none of, I mean, what, you anyway, put it on the forum, whichever form of payment you accept, we can send to you.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to talk about, I mean, is there anything else on the next meeting preparation that we missed out that we can talk very in 1 or 2 minutes before we go to the guideline thing? Okay, I guess the silence means that we don't have any, we are satisfied with where we are on that subject.
Mm-hmm.
So, we say just like anything when we meet like this, and we have this excitement, we don't want anything to kill this excitement, because this may end up being even a stress relief channel for most of us. We don't want anything that is going to kill it, and things that kill excitements or groups like this or positive initiatives like this are usually really little things that you will not even think from the word go. Everybody comes with so much good intentions that in that excitement, sometimes trying to do too much, you step on somebody's leg without even knowing. So we just put guidelines just to make sure that we try to treat each other as fairly as the word fair can go. And nobody ever feels like, oh, this person gets more attention than me, or nobody ever feels like, oh, for this situation, people acted like this, and in this one, like that. So, I mean, nothing can ever be perfect, but we just want to have a few guidelines so that we know that, okay, on this kind of, when this thing happens, something like this happens, in this circumstance, we are obligated to come in. And in another circumstance that does not meet that definition, we don't have to, so that there are no double standards. That's just what we're talking about in terms of guideline. So we are not really calling it we are not calling it a constitution or a statute or things like that. No, just guidelines, a few things.
Bylaws.
Bylaws, yeah.
Yes.
There can
So
be no true constitution.
Can you do us a favor and come up with some suggestion? Then we next
moderate.
Yes, next meeting, then we discuss on them.
Yeah, I mean, it is coming up with such suggestions is not really much of a problem, because we already have, like, I can say, even the class bylaws, or the initial bylaws I had presented, from which the current class bylaws were made. Those could be used, in terms of a blueprint. But the thing is that there are some things we need to agree on. Some essential things, like sometimes it can come down as little as definitions. Not that we don't know the definitions, but what we generally agree on. Who do we consider a member of this chapter? Sometimes people make a difference between a participating member and a non-participating member. Some people are up to date with their whatever contributions you may ask them, but they will not attend a meeting. They will not do anything else, and they are there. But you have to know how. I mean, how do we want to define membership? How do we want to define, this partnership? Is something that is very interesting. So that definition is good. Second thing that we always need to agree on when it comes to help. On what things do we help people? Do we help just direct members or we go into members' families as well. So an example is like we're doing the bylaws for my alumni here, and there was so much debate about parents, helping parents, kids, should it be biological, non-biological, or should there be a substitute, and all of those things. If someone, and finally, people came to the conclusion that no, all we can do is, if we have a member who falls, that is who gets a benefit, and that's it. Their family gets a benefit, and that's it. Or a member has an achievement, like they have a college degree or something. So it's just what we want to define, something that works for everyone. What we agree on, and then we stick to it, you know. And once we are coming in agreement at that level, then we also agree on the level of commitment. So when it comes to that, say, should everybody contribute 500? Should everybody contribute 25 or something? You know, we come to those little understandings, and those would help us, you know, now put a document in terms of the guidelines. So, I mean, are there any thoughts towards that for now?
Yeah, TJM. Yeah, yes. I was just thinking that since this is a subset of the main group, we should be in line with what the main group is doing, and then see what fits us here, how we'll go about it. Then see if there are some things that are doing that cannot work with us here, we may keep those ones apart. But I think we should be inside the same line of what they are doing or what the main group is doing. That's my idea. So that when we are not doing those things, we can now see that it is working like this or it is not working, and we can now even propose amendments to the main group, things like that. So we are not going to make a country inside a country where we have something different we're operating. Immediately we meet a big group, they will look strange to us or look like it's not good like this. It's better to do as we are doing, or some type of thing starts bringing conflicts. I think this is just something, since we cannot always be with them, we say, okay, we are far off, let's try to make something to bring ourselves together so that when the big group wants to come together, we are more organized to fit in. Not that we are forming another independent or completely new group with its own ideas and all those types of things like that. I think that is just my idea. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any other contributions towards this point?
I think that issue we cannot handle. We need a draft to move from article to article, point to point, and debate and vote and come to a conclusion. So if you want to take that issue now without a format, we'll just be talking and it will not take us anywhere. So what I would suggest, if you can do us a favor and draft something, then we start from there. Then we debate, we vote, we take a decision, and we move to the next one. But what we are doing now, it will not help us in anything.
I said in that line, like I was saying, just sorry for maybe interrupting.
No, go ahead,
what I'm saying is, let's take what the main group is using and then go maybe point by point, as you are saying, see how it applies to us or how we can modify it to suit our own on-the-spot situation. And then if we want to add something or we remove something, at least we're inside there. Then I think it makes things easier and not complicated.
Okay. Those points are well taken. From what I gather from those points, it's like, okay, I can do on the various you know, chapters, make a proposal and put it together and table it on the forum, then everyone can chip in. Then we can finalize it when we get to meet together. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I have to really shamefully say, I personally don't even know what is obtainable in the general group.
Yeah, I have a lot of issue with them also.
I don't even know what is done. I don't know. I think it's maybe my weakness, because I believe at some point that was posted, maybe at the beginning or something, which I don't like now. I don't even know what is done, what is supposed to be done, when what happens in the general group.
I think, Rose, you are not alone. Eh? I think it's not something to be ashamed of. That document was sent, but even if you go through, how many of us keep it in our heads? So, but I think there are some things there that I don't know how the thing is working. Like, I don't know. Because we have been trying to say they should try and change and modify. Look like now, since we started, this is the first time we're losing somebody of
No,
the group. So I don't know how that one will be handled. Because it looks like
we can take some 3 minutes and talk about it. And I can give some insight
that
on
was
what's
one of
going to happen, what is with our recent situation.
That is one of the issues that I was supposed to bring in. You know, the way we reason over here is different from the way they reason.
Yeah.
It's no way. There are certain things that we'll propose to them and that they'll never reason until you stab your foot over here to see how you can reason differently.
Yeah.
The issue of benefits for somebody losing the mother, losing somebody. I don't know, the 20,000 that we contribute every year. And if at the end of this year, that 20,000 is not consumed, it means that that money is still, the sinking fund is still in the account. So meaning that next year we have the money was not used. So the money is still there. Then why should we still contribute money again? And if this year that money all is consumed and we have a lot of incidents, where do we take money again to help another person?
Those are the things that
okay, then now when they give a benefit to a member, they don't actually explain to the group how much was disbursed, was given to the beneficiary, and how much is still in the coffers.
Yes.
So we don't see all those things, and which is not, so there's a problem.
How much is there in case we have an incident again? Shall we be able to take care of it? If not, what should we do?
Okay.
So what should they do?
Now, I think we're running a little out of time. If you don't mind, it looks like we're talking now already about the general group. What I think we are going to be concentrate about here is doing something that caters for our that caters for us here. You know, we're not going to worry too much about the laws as they run on the general. We know we are a chapter, and but what is particular about us here and certain things we intend to do for us here, that's what is going to go in this little document.
Okay, Tendong, this is Emmanuel. Let's be fair, okay?
I
will yield to Regina, but before I yield to Regina, there's one thing I just want to share because they just joined us today for the first time. It will be a disservice to everybody else to say that we don't know what is on that document. That document has existed for 4 years, okay? I'm not saying that everyone is obligated to go there, but let's give some credence to those folks who gathered and sent out the document. We may not agree with everything on there, but I think it is fair for us to communicate to Regina and Helen that although they are joining today, we never took time on our own to look at that document So I will yield to Regina. She wanted to say something.
All right. Thank you for giving me a chance to say something. First, I would like to propose before I say something. My first thing that I want to say is that there is no organization without rules binding them. Even a branch must have rules binding them before you go to the headquarters. So we have to have something binding us here first. If we don't have something, then we are not existing. Then for the bylaws, the national one, I think I'll plead that they should forward it on the forum again so that we can go through it and we'll come out with something too from there. And to see how to balance it up with the one we are going to do. That's my own proposal. So.
Yes, I think that is
Okay,
what
thank you.
to us, that we need to have something for ourselves here. And then the ones for the national too, it's what that one. But for us, as you've just said, Regina, not to belabor the thing, what you've just said is that Tendong is driving for us to look at something that binds us together here, so that nobody feels that one person is getting the favor and they are not getting the favor. Once we know that from the onset, then we'll at least, regardless of how the decisions are made, we'll know that they are made based on the agreement that we have in place, or code of conduct, or whatever we want to call it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you all for those contributions. They're all very valid. The only thing I want to chip in there, to kind of second what Emmanuel just said, is that at all times when we've had worries about certain articles and all of that, I think I have personally posted the Constitution on our forum. And I think I did that again recently when we had our 2 new members that came on. I may be mistaken, but I thought I did it again so that everyone can have a chance at their own time to read through it. Trust me, it does not take more than 30 minutes to read the whole Constitution. It is not even it is not a thick document. I think that thing is just like 5 or 6 spaced out pages. It takes 30 minutes. And just like I listened what Chio said about, excellent, all of those things, they're all answered in the Constitution. And so when we pose questions that are already in the document, everything documented, then we ask those questions again. Sometimes it takes me a little bit aback, so please. And I have always said this, I am personally available if someone calls me that, oh, I read this thing on the Constitution, I did not understand, and all of that. I personally have been keeping close with what is going on. Many times they've had discussions. I've always called to ask what call things I don't understand, and I discuss with the president. And I think I may have a few answers. I also know that the blueprint for the Constitution, I was the one that forwarded the blueprint. It is not what was forwarded from originally, but at least that blueprint, I know I forwarded that to the class. So I believe that I can share quite a few things with anyone who has doubts on one point or the other. And I wanted to come real quick to what is going on now, because I know for those who are new, they're kind of like, okay, we had the classmate who just passed, but it looks like nothing is going on the forum. Not much is being said. And or what are we going to do? I actually asked that question when Atta George, I know he's praying right now, but I know I know he put up the program and all of that, and I actually asked a question on the forum, and I had someone who called me and said they were worried about my question because they thought that I knew the situation of our brother Banjong Michael. Now, so I'm just going to be a straight shooter. I guess everybody knows that. And sometimes when you're a straight shooter, you make more friends when you are silent, you say nothing, and people don't know what you think. And you make more enemies when you say things as they are. Not everybody digests easily. So from what I gathered, because I thought, there should have been a little more going on, a little more explanations going on. The thing is that his situation was tricky because according to the bylaws, he's not been in good standing. So the class association has no financial obligation. So being that he has not contributed for the last 2 years in terms of the annual contribution, I think before the annual contribution used to be $10 and then it went to $20. For the 3 years that we've been doing contributions, he contributed to 1. And then after that, the last 2 years, he has not contributed his annual dues. And even in the local chapter in Yaoundé, he's not in good standing in that chapter. And they also grind the teeth that he had situations when he was not in good standing, but the class mobilized when he lost his daughter. The class still mobilized and helped. Then that made him he registered, and that year he ended up paying dues that year. Then the following year, he didn't pay, and he didn't pay his dues or things like that. He lost the mother. And so the class was like, well, our hands are tied. But a delegation was sent. And he actually, and that they feel like when we made contributions.
Mr. George, you too.
This guy go put your stuff on mute.
So they feel like even when they made contributions for his daughter, even though he was not in good standing and the class still mobilized for him, apparently he accused the Yaoundé people to have kept back some money that they were supposed to give to him, and no one knows where that money would have come from or anything like that. And they felt like they went out of their way. In fact, they actually contributed more than the class would even have done on an official basis.
Wow.
So many people felt like he was at the borderline a little ungrateful. And so when he lost the mother, the mobilization was no longer the same. And of course, he was still not in good standing. And they've called him, he does not attend many meetings and things like that. Time and again, he will participate on the forum, which is wonderful. But they feel like he also had a few negatives that he used to kind of trade it around. And the other thing being that there's also one significant thing that makes, because we're trying to see, we say, yes, whatever the case might be, he's still a classmate, and we say no mate left behind, regardless of this. And the last thing, there's something also that is not really coming to my mind. But anyway, generally, that is what the general atmosphere is. And a lot of people are like dragging their feet when you mention something about it, they kind of like just stay quiet about it. So that is the situation there is now. So it's a good thing. So someone brought it up now. The only thing it can do is what they call the Francophone people call coup d'état. Yes, I know they were actually saying that even in his community, the O'Shea community in Yaoundé, it had to take someone to say no, because they said the very day he passed, They just wanted to ship him and take him straight for burial. And then a few people said, no, let's do something and raise funds. Then plus there's a classmate also who had priorly, I mean, while everything was still fine, had actually mentioned that, you know, okay, this man, when he was working with the NFC bank, he was in good shape. This person even tried to get help from him. He didn't look at him, even as a classmate or anything like that. And then that is before we even established this association. So some people actually go back to their interpersonal relationship and things like that. And that is why you may notice that there are a lot of people are dragging their feet on this occasion. I'm saying this, I know I'm not supposed to be saying some of the things I'm saying, but I'm not very good at knowing something and not saying it, regardless of whether it is an opinion or not. My opinion is that whatever the case might be, we could always treat something like, say, okay, this is someone we knew. Sometimes even people we don't know, we still do something, you know, and still see what we could do for the family. I spoke with someone about, I said, okay, how about the family and all of that? They said, well, he lost the daughter, lost the mom, he's divorced with the wife, and we don't know that they don't really know who they can contact as family. But I believe that maybe through Brother Atta, since I guess you're from the same village and you probably know more about the community, you could help us see what, you know, what is possible, see things from a different angle. Right. That's basically what I can say as a prelude.
This is Emmanuel. As a head, part of the executive of this organization, I'm a federalist. I derive my authority directly from the bylaws. Okay, we say no man left behind. When this group first started, to Helen and Regina, we rallied up behind, and many people on here and beyond have done things for a lot of mates without asking questions, and he was one of those. And so now, when we say what constitutes a member in good standing, to one of the things that Raphael was saying, we've kept statistics and data and information as to those who pay their dues on time, those who do X, Y, Z, but there are still some gaps for us to actually define what constitutes somebody in good standing. But there's been a precedent that has been set in the past, which means if you pay your dues, that is the minimum threshold you have to fulfill, and you pay your sinking fund. Banjong was never part of that. For all the 3 years, even as Tendonzon said, he's benefited a lot from the group. I've been consulted by various other members of the executive, and I've belonged to many other groups. I'm not going to falter. Just as Tendon said, it's based on goodwill. Anything coming out of our coffers? Absolutely not. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think there is a reason we purchase umbrellas before it rains. You don't purchase it when you've already been soaked. We know that all fingers are not the same in this organization. And if there is one thing going forward that we really need to be careful about and how we can navigate this, as we get older, this organization's financial stability and sustainability now will fall on the shoulders of a few as we go forward. And we know that no organization or group's sustainability can continue to go forward without any financial cushion. So for now, insofar as Banjong, I know that Polycarp posted something on there. He and I spoke Thursday and Friday. It will be based on anybody's goodwill gesture. That's all.
Yeah. Brother Atta, I think your phone is on mute. Please unmute so that we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So I'm saying that TCM, you talked as if you were at home. You're more present there than most of us. You have information that most of us don't even have. And what the VP2 is saying is what is in line. So all I know about him is that he has not been, I cannot say, since he left the NFC, he became sick sometime until he almost feared that he was to die, but he survived and he was there like that, was recovering. So I thought that this time that he came and joined the group, there was something to the assisted him or something he was already picking up and he was going to be better and so on. But there's nothing much. When I got here in February too, I called him 3 days after. We did not even talk for a minute. He said he just hung out and said he will call me after. Until he died, we never talked again. So I only heard that the wife too, they were not together. That wife is even my sister. We were growing together. Even when they were going out with that woman and so on, I contributed in making him marry the girl. It's my sister. So as to their love life together, I heard they were off sometime when Michael lost the job. The woman had a small job doing, but after she too lost her job, so she went back. And it is even alleged that from what they told me that they were quarreling because Michael had to go home for the burial of one of the family mothers. So then the wife took the ID and hit and the dresses. It was looked like they were quarreling there, he collapsed. And that is what led him to his death. So nobody knows exactly. Even us were confused, don't know who to contact and so on. But us, we have made something like, say, friends of Banjo. So everybody is giving what you can give, nothing left it, and then maybe those who are at home, they collect it and they manage it. So maybe if somebody we can still contribute as a freeway here, and then they channel it through those who are back home, or they send to their very friends. Maybe I give your names and numbers. Those who are interested are put in that forum of the friends. You give whatever you are giving, you have to send home or something, and then they do what they are doing. Because what is there now, like we are saying, the family, there's nobody there. As he is there like that, is this cool the that will help the burial and so on? And then see whether the children, how they can take care about the children who are left and so on. So I think that is just what people are feeling pity and so on. If it is about Michael and so on, it's long. Me, he was my best friend before, I mean, all along, but from since he went to that NFC and became, we have not been very close. Didn't know much about him. So we hardly talk much. So that's what I can say. I don't think if the group does nothing, I don't think the group will be, somebody will be blaming us or blaming the group for anything. It is just as right as I saying we are not financially up to date, nothing will take place. So what we were saying about the constitution, that said, was not that we don't know the constitution that it exists or that we doubt it or disrespect it. I was just saying that we don't have it in our heads to say this is this or this is this word by word or item by item, that way this one. You have to go inside and then know exactly what has to be done or what has to go on through that item. And then financially too, like we were saying, we don't imagine that, let's say three of us pass away now, and then maybe 10 other people lost their wives or this. Is what is in the coffers enough to take care of all this and pay for all people if they are all financially up to date? That's the thing I'm saying about our financial the laws in the group and so on, and all those type of things. That we needed to do something to make sure that if something happens, there is a source of money and it should be there to apply for everybody. Like TGN was saying, we should not say money is getting finished or we have given 200,000 out and there's no more money. People start making coup de care to make it up. TGN, you can know what I'm talking about. You have done that for things to happen. We shouldn't make things like that. We should be able to arrange things in a way that will make sure that if any member has a problem, he will be treated without any problem. That is what I was saying about the note that saying the constitution is somehow or should not exist or is not respected or no. But there are those lapses that are making us to see that if it comes to a time, nobody knows. And I've been saying that we're already getting to an age that nobody is sure of tomorrow. Even those of us who still have parents, some or one of them, soon they will be passing and so on. We have so many commitments. We should be aware of that. We should not shy away from the truth and make sure we think of how to solve those problems. As we run into problems, people start saying that they did this to this one and now they're complaining that there's no money and so on. So, okay.
George,
Yes.
for,
Yes.
for 3 years, okay? This is a
Yes.
fact. I encourage prior, we tend on zone, we call Cameroon before their AGM.
Yeah.
And I told them, I suggested, not that I told them, I suggested that we should limit the amount, we should reduce the amount so that at least we have some money in the coffers, just as you rightly said. We've had to show up our coffers so that we can meet our expenses. Now they went back. Every time they increase the amount they are supposed to dish out, if such a thing happens. So it is one of those things, not to take too much time, it's one of those things that we here will actually have to discuss and see how feasible this amount is within our reach going forward. It is not. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A maid passes away is 500,000. A relative of a maid passes away is 200,000. It was 100,000. We run bankrupt because 3 people's parents passed away, or parents and spouses.
Yeah.
We all had to show up our coffers to meet those obligations, right?
Yeah.
Then fast forward now, instead of 100, it's 250. And if Mike was in good standing, that was 500,000.
So all those things, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I had a smile on my face when Atta said that he has nothing on this constitution, that not that he has not followed it, but he has nothing in the head. And my smile came from the fact that he remembers all the chaps in the class. He does not remember the constitution. So
I go stitch that your mother.
Forgive me for that. You know, I'm just a bad boy.
Forget fun things. When it comes to such things, that's the constitution thing is not fun. That thing not fun, my brother. How you do forget? So no blame Mike. No blame Escargot.
For more stress for body master.
I'm telling you, my brother, leave Mike there. Mike there.
Okay. So now you see some of the things that we are trying to, from this end, we are struggling to try to make reason with the people back home. And to me, I say that, okay, we cannot impose on anybody, but we can keep the fight, keep bringing in the reasoning. And I think at some point, you know, we'll do some things that really make reason, because that's it's a very valid point, how we recover it. Generally, the recovery is that, I mean, things rarely happen, but sometimes it can really pour instead of just raining.
Yeah.
And what usually happens is that whatever we short of, you know, people have to come in from pocket. I mean, there's always a kind of a way to manage crisis. But since that's not our topic of the day, we just wanted to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And everything that happens, sometimes even the bad things, bring some good sides of theirs, because after that, you know, there was a forum for those who were kicked out, who were taken out of the, not kicked out, those who were removed from the general forum and put in another forum until they comply. We realized that at least 3 of them sprang up, and they all said they all really are very enthusiastic about joining back the big group, you know. So, and someone was actually commenting that, oh, because of 20,000, his family has lost 500,000 that could have taken care of the coffin, the transportation, the burial, and things like that. I mean, just saying that sometimes some things may happen that are not really good, but it spares some things. But the only thing, like, I can follow up on what Manu said. Yes, the class has been very, very impartial and very correct in terms of respecting the terms of the of our statutes and bylaws. It has not been flaunted as of this moment. So, well, that being said, I don't know if anybody had something they wanted to chip in, and we'll follow up on what you said, George, in terms of the Friends of Banjong and all of that. We know that statutory, in terms of statutes, there's nothing that the class can do. Financial, I think maybe what we can do is at least make sure that there's a delegation that goes there, and then maybe if there's some coup d'etat, you know, they go and present it without it being something that comes from our coffers.
Yeah.
So
Mike, that coup d'etat, we need to act on that coup d'etat. The man, that we'll never see the man again, and we'll never talk about him.
Yeah.
George, he left how many kids, and how old are the kids?
That one, I don't know exactly. He has one child who is mental, and it's been a problem. They always locking him at home and so on. And then I think he had two girls. Well, this one that has died like that, I don't know if it's one that is okay, who is still there, or two. Something like that.
Wow, that brother in trouble, they were plenty.
I'm telling you. So I'm sure there's a daughter who is strong and okay. But and then the other one, but here the wife left him with the children, or even with the mental one. So he was struggling. So now I don't know whether it's a married brother who will take charge, or how step brother, because he has no direct brother who is still there. He has one of the direct brothers, but he's this type of handicapped type of people like that. So he's back in the village. There is nobody. The mother is gone. There's nobody. Part of the uncle who is there with his own family, and he's a retired pastor. Retired pastor, you know, somebody who can do anything. So now there's another family just near there. I think the uncles too. I think those are the outcrops. Those maybe the one who will take responsibility to now follow all the burial and all those things. So the children, I don't know. They have a sister, the elder brother who was with us in Mbengwi, who had a store. He had a daughter. The daughter is somewhere in the USA married. So I don't know where they are. She is supposed to be the only eye in that family there now.
Okay. Let's say with the days to come, when you find out some information, we'll follow up, and then maybe, you know, we can go from there.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's just a pathetic situation.
So anyway, so I hope at least everybody understands why things are the way they are now.
I will I'll forward that page where they are doing the contribution for that friend. I think I'll put a Momo numbers there and so on back in Cameroon there. If somebody can contact any of them and so on and do whatever I can do, I don't know. There are so many people who are joining in as friends and so on, keeping in something, because they are just now trying to help. Look at the situation that the man has nothing, and if they don't do that, it will really be a fiasco. There's nobody.
Yeah, I just want to add, maybe he wasn't in good standing because of his financial status.
Yes, that's the situation.
Because if he don't lose job, and then again, he's a seven and sick man. Who's going to get 20,000?
That's the thing, the financial situation, nothing.
Yeah, and then maybe they come out to really tell people saying that my situation is. And one thing where they make an because of maybe fear, intimidation, you know how the world is today. You know. And one thing where I want to bring her here, we have to be encouraging one another. Even people who they don't get,
Sometimes people they shy away because they'll say, oh, this person is doing well. We're in the same class. Look at where they are, and then look at me. It make them feel bad. And it make people they hide. I'm telling you, even in this America,
that's true.
People don't enter the coffers because they know gate. They say, how me I'll go join these people? Look at them. Then they go hide, but they suffer. So now maybe now one of the things and that way it happened with Banjo Unono.
Helen, the reason why I give that background, are because with some people who I talk, I try for play apologetics. And now they give me all this background from the time where it be the work, say if you get work say for bank with NFC, I mean, it be they fine. And when it be they fine, it they like say food not be the touch ground.
Yeah.
So and this is way before we even start this idea of class and things like that, So it be look at a classmates. One of our classmates, when a very successful businessman, we get account for the bank where they did. At that time, be even know self in a classmate, So at least if you see like somebody if you check say Mike now be a senior student or something like that. And this classmate apparently be try for work out some relationship, at least even say, hey, it like I know you and that kind of thing, But at that time, it would not be the touch ground. So then down the road, things and they take the reverse order. And then I think listen to Emmanuel when he talked like that. Class actually with that policy of no maid left behind, don't do some things and for you where they no be where it go beyond, following our statutes. Now why I take time for give that background. And now why you see some reactions them like that. And then even after they do it still feel like they don't do enough. Somebody holds something back. He reacts in that way. And so many people they try to approach you and they feel like, I mean, people they get their personal feelings and all of that.
Yeah, Mike, we even still get members where they still look down on some of our members, especially for Cameroon Day. I don't get that complaint a couple of times.
Where?
We get members where they still look down on some. That's just a fact. I believe that we'll help the guy, but just imagine after that he can't integrate with, but after that he lost job.
No, okay. Maybe we'll step back.
20,000 for contribute 20,000. We don't get job, it's not easy, my man.
More step back a little bit. More step back a little bit. Get a second chance to prove the first impression. Okay? Once we rally around Mike, for put it now bluntly, we look at the situation, knowing fully well, not because we talking now, because he don't divorce, he lost his daughter, he stay for some place.
Where?
We agree, say the money we'll put on together will be a lot, we'll keep some. When you don't finish with the burial, come back down for Yaoundé, they give you the money, make it start afresh, or at least get a place where if you do things and then move forward. Mike come for the next meeting for Yaoundé branch. You guys want to make money off of me? You took my money and you kept it? I don't want to get into all the details, okay?
Wow, it went right on to that level. Wow.
Just for give Una a glimpse. The following day, I will get the information. I sat tight on it. So now where would you talk about them? Just for echo wait, Tendong don't talk. Fast forward time where he knows say Imami go pass. He can pay that 10,000 won as registration. Of course, I mean say he not be in good standing. If I pay 10,000, then they give me 100,000. That is a 90% plus within a week. Within a week. So we talk say we get a cool off period of at least 2 months for benefit from there when the deadline don't pass. So nothing will be given. When they contribute for go for AGM, it come in after they communicate, said this money could have been used to do better things. You know fully well, as we talk, say certain things they get to be done within America, what they did, because the person for Cameroon will hardly understand.
Yes.
You have no authority to tell somebody how to use their money. It is up to them, right? But a lot of members then for this group, they don't contribute for people then for Cameroon, and they still do. Yes, now true say members they shy away because of complex and places where they see say they not pay fine. But we don't contribute as members and say go for AGM. We don't pay. They show up, they don't go for the AGM. Yet we don't pay. So at some point, we just need to look at like a sad situation. We'll still do it what we do on the sideline, but not as a group or not as a class.
That's all right.
We only help for encourage those in way they take advantage of a situation like this. We know say all fingers are not the same. But how else if you motivate your classmates when you know say at least you're there for a privileged position for fee help? Now say make it just even participate for group, send a text message, greet, or any of those things. Then yes, the hardship be there, but not with such level of arrogance.
I know that's the thing.
Yeah.
I say, Manu.
And Helen, for your interest,
when I don't do some small or much of medicine, or I mean health care, when I know say some mental situation, they will it be caused by stress. That man, I know if you say if you really be the microwave, you know, and the stress we don't go through, it be like it don't affect your mind.
In memory.
Yes. So I don't just know. Just like we are saying, anybody can.
I not rule that one out, George. I not rule that one out. Absolutely true. But if for me, if I want to do something now, I would do and I say maybe amend that branch at least send somebody. They may not be like saying a person will not be get classmates, right? And so now the angle that way me I look towards. But if they then finish even a bouquet of flower or wreaths and then hand some small thing for the family, even if you amount to 50, but not on the forum, this will be behind the scenes.
Yes,
exactly.
You and Mike, when I don't always call, when I call me, what still do when I forget about Cameroon, when I don't always call, we'll keep what people aside from Cameroon. We for every do small thing. You call me, I'll respond as usual. My call, I'll respond as usual. We'll do small thing, but I got I beg. No argue over. We'll just leave them.
Well taken. And Helen, you know, see, when we really talk, say no man left behind, or we don't do more. As you talk, say maybe if you've been because of financial situation, you see, like if you see all people they be up to date like that, it not mean saying that their own pocket way they actually move money there. When we know say some person they way he own no day, and we, I mean, even if you make headstand 5 round over 4, we do some, you know, we kind of like.
Okay.
Yeah. See, so we used to do things and we, at least almost everybody way they here. If you do something where that means say no one may left hand know way to a right hand do. You see I'm now. It all we would try for Nona say you get that good intention or be with your people. You get that good intention. You get that, you show that love for class. Trust me, there's somebody here where you go do something. So really for somebody to say, oh, you know, he own no day now, why you know be in good standing? Trust me, he had. He had. Yes. So okay, I think we don't exhaust those points, and I really want to appreciate the fact. I mean, we even go beyond we normal time, that sacrifice. Yes, it's not something that we always do. Me particularly, I not be very particular. I not be very good at holding on meeting, past meeting time, and things like that. But I really appreciate them. However, if anything the way we think so fit, we don't miss an out. We just go ahead and we.
No, I think when we meet next time, that we'll get so much to share because I get things, but since I get some meeting, they come up. I want to make sure I'll cut off from a small time.
Okay, no problem. And of course, as soon as I know, we get forum where every person fit always make a contribution. Please, time and again, move to where I for forum, see which way to go on. And, you know, if we don't get time for type, at least you just hit that microphone thing, you talk. You know, we will still hear the voice message. So any last thing that somebody wants to say before we round up?
I want to talk something for encourage the people them where they we feel say they know be able for meet up. One thing they will when you get a will, everything will be it go worker. It means we get meeting them when people them they know they do registration, but every meeting that they come, but they don't register, they don't do anything now because they don't get, but they like them. So in the long run, people them inside meeting they go register them, they go continue. But if man not get goodwill, and you know, it means they don't like for come, not be saying for seeker one thing or the other because if I see come across a brother, I don't get, I do really beg, I don't get this. So I don't even get transport for reach for this. No man no go deny say, okay, I no go help this brother where they always come when I say nah, it don't be down. Nobody. Because we'll be one. So the important thing I say, may we get interest for the camp. Not be all thing not be money. Money go then follow after.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said.
Yeah. Regina, you couldn't have said it any better. And that is what has been happening. Right. When you see people then for that group, as said on top, they're there for that group because others don't assist. All ask now, may they come, may they show up, even send text message, check on the group once every 3 months. And the threshold is so low, even constitute the person get good intention, good faith, right? But then you realize that of the ones that they don't just go, they don't even show up again.
Yeah, we pay for something, they don't show up last year. They not happy and not even a single, no members, absolutely, no. And I be argue for them for their sake, but they not show up, no more.
Okay. Well, once more, I'll just say thank everybody. I think, like Roseby remarked, we get the best attendance ever. Or get 10 people where they be actually connected and participating. I think we don't always get the highest we don't get before 9. So today we had 10 participants and contributors. So we hope next meeting we'll get even more because Canada did not connect. We're not lucky to get also
Joyce,
Peggy, Kindle Glory,
Glory.
Joyce, Asanji, they not be connect. Yes.
Even Tender is missing.
Yeah, Tender too did not. Yes, we miss Tender, we miss Muda, and Muda they always at least chip in. But, I think today the situation may have been really different today. So with that, we
what about this one brother would somewhere Maryland here? I don't know.
Joe
Austin.
Joe Austin. To be straightforward, Joe Austin, it be give me the impression say he no be interested.
Yeah, he told me.
Yes. So so when someone already give you that impression that they don't be interested, we'll wait until, people change. Whenever it change, I think it will come towards us. Because at the beginning, he be interested, he participate.
He's the one who introduced me to the group.
That's right. You see? And,
Mike, he's never been part of this new group. When was he a member? Because
he was
a registered member. No, I don't remember seeing him in any of our forum, whether the general or this one.
That was before we started the diaspora.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He used to chip in time and again. He used to say, oh, that it is his children who help him with the WhatsApp, that he is not too versed with these things. And, you know, that the children help him and time and again. And but at a certain time, it's like, you know, it's like he felt it was a little burdensome.
Overwhelming.
So when someone gives you that impression, there's no need. It's not something that you have to convince somebody. You know, we don't do that. So that's why when I counted people, I did not really count him. Of course, most of you know, he was my classmate since from class 2 in primary school in Kumba. You know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the same school, government school, Kumba Town. Right in class 2, he came back in class 6 and we completed class 7 before I went to Mbengwi. And then he came and joined me again in Mbengwi in class 2. I think he was coming from Cambia or something like that. And, you know, so if he says, if he gives that impression, there's no need. It's not like he needs to be told what an alumni is or anything again like that. No, he's been part of it before. And so I really don't count him until something else really changes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it. Well, on that note, then let's call it quits for today. Continue everything else on the forum, and I'll just say good night to everybody and best regards to your families.
Thank
All
you.
right. We're going to teach them more.
Okay, Susumo.
God.
Any man don't be ready, must bring me that a border number.
Emmanuel, they overweight. Okay. All right. That's good.
Don't leave. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
George, you there for mute, then you try for talk.
Master. I talk now, I say you can show your face as we close.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It's been a very fruitful meeting.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the question.
No, at least, yeah, at least the meeting, you work fine.
Yeah.
You at least visit all different ends of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really, which would really encourage me, everybody, read Constitution, which if you remember, you will remember, because how much can you remember after reading a Constitution?
I remember some. I know that this one has to be done, but maybe the exact amount, that's my problem. You know that this one has to be this one to be this, or whether much is there, how are they making their money? Do they really have, so on, how are they using the money?
The money now, I think that the mistake where they make and I say that they call them say sinking funds.
Yeah,
But this is an annual dues. You see now? Because sinking fund, they give impression say not only like when trouble happen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we use that money that they go use them for run administrative things. Now money that way they go use them for do you know, for do one or two things. You see,
Yes.
we concern happy things as well as sad things. You go come now from there. They try for legalized association right now, you know. Now, for same all these people, then deal with legal people, then like neighbor waters and all of that, may they go ahead with Abiatiofi, then may they put those documents together, pay whatever they need to pay to get on. Oh, it will come on for that sinking for that annual dues now. Yeah, wait till people they drag their foot, you know. So that's what they use the now the way that they use the money, and then inside that money again, now they still use them when somebody die. Now that money go come out. Somebody lose a close
which is something we can't rely on. For that 20,000, you can't do that. You can't say, considering the way they're saying 100, 200, we can't base on that if somebody has a problem, take money, that 20, how much will they give at the end?
No, a portion they will go come out from coffers. And then if not very heavy money, a portion they come out for the coffers.
Coffers come out, what's that money for coffers come out?
Money for coffers, now that 20,000 now. Another 20,000 where they come out for day.
Where
that's
they come
every
in
our coffers, yes. And then which way we be short of, you know, and we'll not be empty coffers. We'll move which way they forgo, which way the coffers fit cover, and the rest we will make small contribution. Maybe the coffers, if we get enough from the coffers for cover 50%, then the other 50%, we say, okay, every person chip in 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, or wait till, I don't know. You know, there's always a way, but at least maybe we get something where we fit do something before we expect people. Sometimes the people for years so, I mean, you just can't, but you go realize that even when you do work, sometimes you define $1 so for go buy one Macuna, you need this year.
And I we talk now. I said all those things.
So now why would you give that 20,000 ahead of time so that at least something they were already she done there? Where if we move small, we get them before people they stand back head for find the rest for complete. That's so. So when people they try for argue and say, okay, then how now one way the association run without money? No, you know, happen.
And everything, every meeting, every group self, that registration, it be like a commitment. When you don't pay, it shows that you be committed to the group and you follow up that things are moving.
Yes.
Well, it's something which is very obligatory. It's good. It's unnecessary. But it makes you feel belonging.
That's so. You know. No, I think I say we'll just keep the try for make people that they understand and all of that. Which people they get to understand and say, when you even make those contributions, you contribute to somewhere. Not because you get plenty money. No, not heart. Heart. Yes. So maybe people they know. I mean, maybe they know overanalyze things. They know overanalyze. That's just it.
No, the thing is a very good group of many people. You have varying opinions, varying people want to talk this and argue. You know, especially our class. There's so many stubborn people. It cannot go away. People might want to argue and so on. Want to know this thing and so on and so on. So you expect it just to keep on struggling and pushing and encouraging.
No. So okay, bon judges.
Okay, Master.
Master, we already talk now.
Yeah.
You salute Madam and picking them.
They were gonna.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.